Drivers are on the track in their positions and lights are out and away we go. Default gets a good start away. Vegas is being chased by Jordy B. Jordy B is going down the centre, 3 wide, going up to first turn. Red Bull of Vanier is right there. Collision? No. All clean so far.
Ferrari spinning back,
the Mercedes drivers hitting each other. There was a little tickle there. I don't know if you saw that.
I just see Vegas going side to side with Jordy B.
He's still going in. He's managed to get P2 back from Jordan. Oh, back end of Gooby. Lost it a bit there. Who's that?
Vegas is gone.
Vegas has spun.
Touched by the rear end of Jord. I didn't see.
Hodgson's gone as well.
I just saw Vegas spinning off.
Hodgson's also gone, so a horrific day for Renault, but they're not giving up.
Flaff broke a bit late into the back of Beaker.
Has he got any damage? Don't see any damage on the
I saw him
car.
just get a bit too punchy.
Flaff gets a 5-second stop-go penalty for corner cutting and gained 1 place. So he's going to have to come back. I don't know how he gained a place. That must have been for the overtake on Vegas or Hodgson. Well, it can't be, because the only person he overtook was Vegas or Hodgson. So, overall, nothing too major has kicked off. Vegas and Hodgson are the only ones who's had any properly bad issues. Flaff is going to have a stop-go penalty, but bear in mind, there are a fair few drivers on this track that started off on soft tyres. So, John and Beaker and Flaff, all 3 drivers. Default puts a 1:33.7 to start off the first lap. Karma. Vanier is looking to get the chase down on Max Thorne. He's gone for the overtake mode.
I think he's just a bit too far back to make that move.
I don't actually think Vegas had any damage, even though, you know, with that spin.
He had the pit maneuver performed on him by Jord. So
speaking of Jord, Jord is chasing Default hard. He's really close to him. If he's going for the overtake button, he's using his ERS early. I think he's going to try it. Jordan's got a lot to prove.
Still got a while to go for DRS, so it's just at this stage you just got to keep close to them in one front. So Vanier is keeping tabs on Max here.
Oh, he got really close in that braking zone. He is down. He's very active on the ERS changes.
Who's that?
Vanier.
Vanier. Oh, bit of over acceleration. Yeah, so he's putting it into high as he comes out the corner, then dropping it down. So he gets the most out of it when he needs the most, and then drops it down when he doesn't need as much.
But Max Thorne's going down on the inside of Gooby. He's pushed him a little bit.
Contact.
Oh, now there's contact. Gooby's gone.
Gooby.
He's spun.
He's still in the race.
He is, but he's lost all of his front wing. Yeah. Bit aggressive, would you say, from Max, or do you think it was just a race incident?
I would like to see it again. I didn't have.
Well, you're about to, because he is on the back end of Vanier. Same situation, same team setup. Is he going to get any aggression going into?
We have DRS though now, don't we?
We do. We do indeed.
Good boy, Rexon. Here we go.
But John, look. John is right there behind him as well. He's on the soft tyre as well, and if he's able to keep up with Max.
Jordan's taking the lead.
He has, but he cut that corner a fair bit.
No.
I think it was fine.
Legal. Completely legal.
Yeah, I think it was legal, but I do think it was a bit on the line, on the limit, shall we say. But Default is no pushover. He is going to come back on him. There will not be the end of this. He will not go quietly into this night. Hodgson, by the way, has pitted and has gone onto the medium compound tyres.
He's going to go the whole way then, I'd expect, with that change.
Do you think he can go the rest of the race on mediums? Bear in mind it's a 50% race, so we are talking the full 29 laps. Well, he would have done. He would have done 25. Yes,
he should be able to. It depends how he drives. If he gets in a lot of traffic, they'll obviously take a lot out of those tyres. I think he's just got to stay off people and just try and manage. eyes, but he can make it the whole way.
Oh, the Ferrari of John is looking for a gap. There was no gap there, but he tried it. It's good to see that the Ferrari are challenging the Force India in this race.
He's going for it again.
Oh, was that contact?
No, that was though.
No, it's contact there. John was carrying so much extra speed than Max there.
Max looked like he lifted off.
He did.
Max just didn't get his power down as quick.
John's going around the outside, but that's giving Beaker the opportunity to challenge his teammate. Both of them are going to have DRS. The poor Force India is not going to have anything.
Yes. Beaker is right on his tail.
This is going to be an interesting entry into this corner. Never mind. It could have been way worse, but I think Beaker backed off, if I'm being honest.
There's got to be team orders in play there. I mean, these guys are in communications with each other, so they should be able to say, look, don't challenge me just yet. And is that John moving over for Beaker? I think it is.
It looks like it, yeah, he is. He's letting through.
There is team orders.
Yeah, definite team orders there in action. The gaps are actually quite close, considering the situation of the race. Hodgson has taken Gooby, who's pitted and gone on to soft tyres. The two Renault drivers are... Although, having said that, if you look, whilst you're looking at John, if you look in the background and pay attention to just behind that Force India, that is Vegas. Vegas is on the charge.
Yep.
He's in P8 currently. He's still on the super soft. He never actually pitted, so he's gonna be doing well. His strategy will still remain the same because he didn't have to pit for any sort of damage or anything.
Beaker is all over there, and Max is going out the outside. Left space for Max on the inside. I think he's made it.
He has. He's done it. Nicely done by Beaker.
Max will have DRS here. Coming off this corner, there's the section line.
Contact there. There was a nudge.
Max.
Yeah, I can see a bit of wing just bouncing around in the back. But who's that? Beaker? Beaker was heavily off track there.
Well, he was punted off, wasn't he?
But Max is going again for the inside line.
Beaker shuts the door.
He's done it. He's defended it beautifully.
Jordan's still on the back of Max as well during all this, so...
Max has gone wide.
Really wide.
And John's gone through.
Easy as you like.
If you leave a door open, these Ferrari drivers will take it. But now the Force India guys are on top of each other. Max is
just sitting there watching.
He is. He's waiting for them to hit themselves out. Yellow flag sector 2. Who's that?
I was going to guess Hodgson.
I think it was Hodgson.
Corner. So Flaff is on the tail of Max.
And Max has gone down the outside.
Yep. Is Flaff going to join him? Nope.
That was a good drive there by Max. John held it again though.
Yeah, you see the way he went around that first corner. After that, he kicked his car out a little bit just to push Max away. Just slowed him Max a tiny bit, just enables him to get around that corner.
He gave him a message that he's not afraid to fight. He will defend, but Vegas was looking for Flaff there.
I think we can see a couple of changes on this DRS here then.
Absolutely. Vegas is...
Flaff goes very deep.
He has...
Very deep. Vegas is sniffing his exhaust pipe. So here we go. DRS time.
Vegas has gone the inside. Oh, he didn't get it. He didn't get it. There was a bad exit there from Vegas. Flaff had a bad entry, but had a better exit. Max has fallen way back now. Sector 2, Sector 3, who's that?
So Jordan's slow.
He is.
Jordan's very
he must have gone off. He hasn't got a puncture. I think he went off. Because Vanny has taken the position on him, so...
Vanny just walked past.
Nice and...
They're all pitting.
Oh yeah, here we go. It's that time of the day. The pit window is open.
Ferrari's interesting enough to stay now, but they are on the softs.
So Vania, Jod, Max and Vegas. For speeding?
Yeah, speeding in the pit lane.
Oh.
Who else is going to get a penalty for these days?
Well, that's true. Oh, that was close. Vegas has jumped Jordy B. So Vegas actually won on that pit stop there, but despite what the screen may tell you, It's the graphic display on the left which is correct. So Jody B may look like he's on super softs, but he is actually on soft tyres. So the only person who still is on super softs is our race leader, who has not yet pitted.
He will come out about 5 seconds in front of Vanier, I reckon.
5 seconds in front of Vanier. I don't think he'll be
I
that
was
far ahead.
going for 22-second pit stop.
I think it'll be very close. I don't think it'll be 5 seconds. I think he might actually come out behind Vanier, if I'm honest.
I was going for it because it's a very easy in and out pit lane, isn't it, here?
It
There's
is.
no chicaning or anything silly.
So let's go on board with John, as they are the closest drivers on track currently. But let's not divert attention away for too long, because Jody B is chasing Vegas.
Default staying out for another lap.
It's a risky move, that.
Well, it is and it isn't, because if he can get through these laps now with these tyres, he's comfortable, then he'll have longer time on the softs and they were less likely to drop off the cliff towards the end of the race.
So, question time.
Yes.
I'm talking strategies here. We've had 6 drivers who've gone for a pit stop. Only one of them has actually gone onto the medium tyre quite early on in the race, so he's obviously going to the end. But the drivers that have pitted already and have gone onto the soft tyres, are you thinking that they can make it to the end on the soft tyres, or do you think they're going to have to do another stop?
I reckon everyone should. Gooby's the only one who's on the edge. Because he did pit a couple of laps before everyone else, 3 laps to be precise. And yeah, it's that grey area. If he drives well, I mean, he's got a lot of distance to the car in front, so there's no problem on that front. He's not going to get extra wear. Just how he drives. If you drive nice and clean, don't over accelerate out of corners, he'll keep those tyres and they'll last him.
What about default? What do you think his strategy is going to be in this one?
He'll be coming in either this lap or next.
Okie doke, let's see how he does.
This lap. Let's check to leader. Oh, so Vanier is closing. He's closed about a second that last lap, I think, or the last 2 laps. It's down to 26.3.
The battle I'm really wanting to keep an eye on is the Vegas-Jord battle, because they're both insane races, and I've seen them have some really close wheel-to-wheel action on a few occasions, but Vanier there has actually just set the fastest lap time. Vegas just topped it, 1:30.1. And Jody B didn't actually beat Vegas' fastest lap there, so I don't think he's actually going to be able to do much better than what he's doing currently.
So Vegas took out 4 tenths of a second out of Vanier's lap there. He's absolutely steaming around.
They are both preserving their ERS at the minute. Even Jord's doing the same, so the gaps shouldn't change too drastically between the 3 drivers. Although Jord has managed to close that gap on Vegas quite considerably, and with the fact that the DRS section is coming up, if he manages to stay, I think he was just outside of that 1 second gap. He was, so no DRS for Jordan. Really quite clever there by Vegas. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but he managed to manage that gap quite nicely and keep it just above a second.
Default has lost another second to Vanier now over that last lap. It's now down to 25.3. If he doesn't pit in the next lap or so, he's not going to come out in the lead. He's under proper risk of losing this lead now.
He is, but he will be on fresher, soft tyres, which means that he'll be able to go harder, and Vanier has to be careful he doesn't push too hard too early on, because if he pushes hard now, he will suffer for it, as we saw in the Australian Grand Prix with Jord, who pushed really hard pretty early on, got to the end of the race and lost loads of positions as a result of his overly aggressive on the tyres. We've got to keep an eye on that.
But Vegas is 28 seconds behind Default. Now if Default stays out a few more laps, Vegas will then be leapfrogging him as well.
He will indeed.
So
it's all on Default to make a decision here. What's he trying to do? But I think that these drivers who've pitted already will have to make another pit stop. These drivers are on the softs, the 3-lap-old softs. I think they're all going to have to pit again. So, if Default plays his cards right and manages these tyres and this gap considerably, yes, he may pit, and yes, he may come out behind Vegas, possibly even Jordan as well. But in the long run, he will end up back on point again. But the people we're not really paying much attention to, and we really should be, are the Ferrari drivers, because both of them have started on the soft tyres, and obviously they have not yet pitted, and they only need to do a one stop.
I suspect they'll probably stop around lap 20.
Jordan, by the way, is now only 5/10 behind Vegas. He does have DRS on the home straight. ERS is in overtake mode. He's going for it.
He's a bit too far back though. Las Vegas locks up. No.
Can you make the overlay show time last lap? I don't think it gives you that
No, you can show fastest lap.
But he never made it. Jordan actually never made it on Vegas. He only actually managed to get down to, well, now he's 2/10 behind. Look how close he is to the back end of Vegas there. Again, just a reminder, it may show you that he's on super soft tyres on his car, but he's actually on soft tyres. It is a visual bug with the game.
You're going to have DRS here, just going to get a good drive.
He's got the gap as well. ERS buttons on overtake. Slipstream is engaged. He's going to be in rich revs as well. Is he going to get the dive? He's not. Let's see how much ERS Vegas is running. Vegas actually isn't running any ERS right now. He must have been running it on that long straight. There's no way that he could have held that
Default
distance.
is in the pits.
It's a lap 12 pit from Default. He's gone into another set of super softs.
Wait, what? You sure?
According to my graphic design on the left, he has gone on to super softs, but
That's what I thought as well.
John has gone out on mediums. So as we predicted, Default is actually behind Vanier, but Vegas is right there on Default now. Default's playing an interesting strategy. He has to pit again. He hasn't gone from softs to super softs. He's gone super softs to super softs. So he's going to have to really pull something magical off here if he wants to make it out in front.
Hodgson's struggling on those mediums. Obviously struggling to get up to speed.
It looks like his front right wing has been damaged. Ooh, okay.
So, can someone explain to me why Default has gone to the supers? Is that a tactical error? Tyre selection issue?
It could have been that he selected the wrong tyre by accident. Or he's not wanting to go onto the medium tyre. I think what it's going to be, I think he's not going to want to go onto the medium compound. I think he wants to stay on the ultra soft tyre. And so in order for him to do a super soft tyre, sorry, and in order for him to do that, oh, who's that? Vegas. He's gone for a wobble. He slid off. He did say his ballast wasn't feeling great at the end of qualifying, but now puts him down to P6 and P7 now as John just slides into his DMs. But John is on the medium compound tyre. Vegas is going down the inside of John. Clean as you like, but he's not yet done it.
And Beaker's in the pits. Beaker's gone onto the mediums as well.
So has Flaff actually. So they went for the one stop.
So, do you reckon by that the current softs won't make it to the end and it is going to be a two-stop race?
I think everyone who's on the softs now will have to pit again. Absolutely.
I would expect the softs to be able to make it 20 odd laps. Obviously not.
I think they'll make it to lap 26, and then I think they're going to really struggle from here on out. But let's see. So John is...
Default's back in the lead.
He is. That doesn't surprise me though. He is on the fastest tyre. He's the only one on the fastest tyre. And he did have some really good solid raw pace, but in order for him to be able to make a good finishing position here, he's going to have to really push hard in order for him to get up to the podium, really, if you think about it.
Default has to get a 20-odd second lead over Beaker and John, because they're on the mediums, they're going to the end, for sure. So he needs 25 second lead, I believe it is.
But John's looking for the inside. No, he's backed off.
And
Vegas is struggling. Vegas is struggling. I think he's going in the pits. Is he going for the mediums? I think he's going to have to. I don't think so.
I didn't see the accident.
There's no wing engineer out there.
No?
Yeah, he's going on the mediums. Okay, he knows he's struggling. He hasn't got the raw pace to keep up with everyone, so he's just going to try and put in some steady, pretty consistent lap times, and try and just pray that he can get up to. Well, realistically, we're looking at P4, aren't we? If we're being honest. If I'm right, and all the people who've gone onto the soft tires need to pit again, then realistically, Vegas is looking at P4 because the other 3 drivers, unless they make a mistake, which is possible, but he is the only one really who's going to be able to make a change for himself. His ballast is off. He's already admitted that. His car doesn't feel balanced, and that's ultimately costing him. So, Vegas playing the long game. Ferrari playing the long game. One of the Force Indies is also playing the long game. And Hodgson, on the other Renault driver, just seems to be having a horrific time. Just can't seem to bring it home. 16 laps remain. So whilst this race has calmed down a bit, Amkasa, tell me your top 3 for the end of this race.
Default.
In P1?
Beaker. Yep.
Oh wow, okay.
I reckon I don't think his strategy is on point as what I would do, but I think he's got the ability to get these tyres to then do literally 1 lap or so on the softs, or 2 laps on the softs, and they're all, yeah, he's going to stretch this lead. But Default, I reckon, don't know what I reckon. I reckon I had too much beer tonight, that's what I reckon.
It's possible.
Yeah. Default take the win. Beaker from John. So Default, Beaker, John.
Oh, the back end of Default was kicking out there. Don't know if you saw that.
I did see a bit of a swerve.
I think
pushing it.
I think your claim on Default getting P1 I think was very bold.
Well, you know me, I like my bold predictions.
I mean, it's an interesting strategy going super soft, and I think he's going to have to go super soft, I think is what his strategy is. But
then
that is heavily reliant on him making some insane lap times. Vania was, sorry?
But then you reckon Vanny and Jordan are also going to have to pit, because their tyres aren't going to make it to the end.
Yeah, but they're going to have to pit and go on... Ooh, they're going to have to go on...
They've done the mandatory tyre, they can go for anything they want. So they'll probably go supers in about probably 6 laps time.
Yeah, I think 5 laps. I think they'll do it in 5. I think lap 2021 is going to be when it is. Oh, Max is gone! We've had our first DNF. Let's see if we can find where that is on the track. Any guesses before we get to it? I reckon it's the awkward left onto the middle straight.
That long left-right, isn't it?
I think it's before that. I think it's coming up. I'm watching Hodgson. I'm thinking it's coming up to this corner here.
But he's done his pit race, so it's a bit like that.
I'm wrong. I think you might be right then in that case.
It's where Vegas decided he wants to go for a little tunnel across the Astro. Oh, in all this, I've just noticed Vania is on the rear end of
Try to be.
Jord. No, wait, Jord is past Vania. It's the other way around earlier.
It was on that corner, the one you said it was. That was where it was. So, just want to point out, so Default is on the super soft tyre, right? And he's only 5.3 seconds ahead of his teammate Jord, who's on the soft tyre. And he's going to go longer than default. And has the opportunity to go back onto super soft tyres.
Back in a second. Can you make it stick though? Bit of contact there. Yep,
So we'll have to wait until the end of the race before we get some interviews to find out what happened to Max. But looking at it again, Vanny has taken back the position on Jord.
Yeah, he walked past him on the home straight.
What a lad. But Jord won't let that end like that. He's going to be chasing him down, hunting him good and proper.
And all this is going to take out so much out of their tyres that it makes it easier for default. Default is going to have to pit again. These guys are likely to have to pit again. Very likely have to pit again. The only people that don't are the mediums and possibly Hodgson.
I mean, they've got to pit again, surely. They're 10 laps in on their soft tyres. There's got to be... Oh, how close could Jord be to Vanya there?
How long did the other guys went? Trying to do the maths. About 13, 14 laps on their softs.
Yeah.
The Ferraris.
Exactly, and I don't think that these guys can go much more than that as well. Oh, Jord went around the outside. Is he going to go for it? He is. Overtake button's engaged. DRS is engaged. So is Slipstream. He's going to be in rich rev, surely. Is he going to go down the inside? He is. He's going for the inside. He's shut the door on Vanya. He's made it stick. He's done the position move. But like you said, yeah, he needs to manage that fuel.
Obviously, he's pushing so hard to get his position. Maybe he's just trying to hold Vanya up. But blue flag's been shown.
What do you think team orders are playing here?
Could well be. He may be trying to hold up Vanya to just... They've gained about a second in the last lap, just trying to fight each other. Beaker's on the back of Hodgson trying to lapse. That might be interesting. Hodgson gets well out of the way. Good boy.
Jody B lost the back end there. I don't know if you saw that, but that means that Vanya is going to have the run. He's got the DRS engaged, but he's not going for the overtake. Sure. His overtake button is not on. I think he's just trying to manage that ERS. Ready for the home straight.
Keep close. Oh, he's got a much better drive out that corner, though.
He did. Jordan just looks unstable. He looks like his setup is just not right.
But he's struggling with fuel, so maybe he's had to put it into lean for a bit to try and get that fuel back up.
But you'd have thought he'd be more stable as a result of that. But, oh, Vanny is just... I think Jord is holding Vanya back, if I'm being truthfully honest. Oh, Jord's going to the pits, and so is Vanya. Oh, he's backed off.
Oh,
different strategy. In. Out. Is this Hamilton in here? Let's see how we do.
So there's pressure on Vanya now to pump in some top laps.
I want to see what tyres... Oh, he's got back on softs again. That's an interest. So he's now going for the end of the race. So he knows he could do 10 laps on them. Yeah, there's no way he could have gone super softs and gone to the end if he was going to pit there. So he has had to go on the soft tyre.
Can Vanya stay out for another 2 laps and then get the supers? They will take you 8 laps, 9 laps.
Well, we can use default as a gauge, can't we? Because he's 7 laps in.
Yeah, and he's already been on the supers for 12 laps. They will do 12. They will lose it at around 8. But they will do 12. That's what he's done then with them.
Just want to point out, further down in the pack, Flaff is only a second off the pace of Jordan. And Flaff's on the mediums. So Jordan's going to have a lot to do if he wants to get away from Flaff. And I think he's already answered that straight away. 1.2 second gap. Is he going to build that up? 1 point. It's still about the same. It's hovering. Jordan is struggling on this track, it has to be said. 2 of the strongest drivers are way down the field now. Vegas, again, P7, he's not having a great championship so far.
So that's Vanya in the pits.
Right.
Supers.
He has gone on the supers. Well, he only has to do 10 laps, basically, doesn't he? So This is Vania's charge now.
Has Jaw done hammer time though?
Let's find out.
I think he has. He's
Coming down the home straight. He is. He's ahead.
Flaff is going to be on the tail of him. So Vania needs to get heat into those tyres.
And do it quick.
Yeah. Flaff, yes, he's on 7-lap old medium, so you won't expect him to be a threat, but you never know.
Flaff has also been struggling on this track as well. I think even with DRS, I think all he's going to do is keep Flaff sort of relatively close, but Vania just has so much extra grip that Flaff doesn't have available to him right now. You can already see in the corners he's just losing so much time to this Red Bull. He's already outside of the DRS range for that.
Spinning up his rears, isn't he, a lot? Oh, like that. So, Default's lead over Beaker is now 14 seconds.
Default's in the pit.
Oh,
sorry to cut you off there, but he's in it.
That's right, it was a good time for me to talk about him, wasn't it? Beaker runs wide, come out of the last corner. He will take the lead, and Default will drop down to third.
I think.
Spanking new supers.
You mean softs?
Softs. I saw the yes went. Oh, he's on supers.
He's down in P3. John took him as well. I don't think Default's going to be able to win this race.
Default's third.
Yeah, I'm about John. Not Jod, John.
Alright. Well, I expected that. He was 19 seconds behind.
Oh, okay.
But Default is only just under 9 seconds behind Beaker on brand spanking new tyres. He should have enough to catch him.
So Vania is now only 3/10 behind Jordan, and it means that unless Jordan manages to pull off a miracle or Vania makes a mistake, then look at this helicopter view, by the way. But it means that Vania will have DRS on this back middle straight here. Sorry.
Fresher tyres as well.
This is a beautiful camera shot we just had there. Together, get the exit. He's doing it. DRS engaged. He's not used the overtake button there. Just want to point that out. I think he's trying to stay behind him, if I'm being honest.
This is a really hard part to pass on unless you're right behind him coming off the hairpin. So you just got to stick with them going through these parts. And then stay with them as you come out the last corner and just put your foot down. Go for it.
If I'm being honest though, I don't think Vania's, because he's not only, that's not the first time he's he's doing it here. The inside line, is he going to shut the door? Jod gives him space. He's going to have DRS as well, so this move is going to be done.
Yeah.
And the fastest lap to go with it. So that's Vania in P4 now. The charge doesn't end here. He still has to get Default. 6 seconds behind him. Default's also on the fresh soft tyres. I think Vania's going to have about another 4 laps of like optimal grip in these tyres before they fall off, and he'll just start matching the soft tyres pace.
Default has pulled in about 0.8 of a second over the last lap. It's not enough to catch unless Beacon makes a mistake, or they fall off the cliff, which I don't expect them to do, but you never know.
So DRS is coming up here for Jordan. Again, just a reminder, the yellow flag for the yellow fuel light is on for Jordan. He's gonna struggle with the fuel if he doesn't pull off a miracle here. Oh, Vania went wide. I don't know if that was his optimal line or not, but he went quite wide on the exit of that corner. I think Jod's gonna have to switch to lean soon if he's not careful. Who's that? Is that Hodgson that Vania's coming up on?
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Hodgson
he's moved over.
Vania gets DRS though.
That's great news for him. He's even set another fastest lap, 1:29.1. So the charge. Oh, Jod's going down the inside. There was no contact. It was close. Don't get me wrong, but there was no contact. So both these drivers now, Jordan actually seems to be finding his groove on these tyres. He seems to be really comfortable. a lot more stable than he was earlier on, especially than he was in qualifying. I think his car just wasn't set up right for the raw pace that he had earlier. Now he's just smooth sailing.
Default is down to 0.8 behind John now.
Oh,
he's locked. Oh no, it's lag.
But he is way behind though, look at that. He's fallen off a bit. He needed the exit.
There's a lot of lag issues with default. I keep seeing him just randomly stop.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too, but
he's going to be on his tail, and coming through this last section, he'll be right on him as he goes to home straight.
He's lowered his ERS a little bit. I think he's just trying to manage it. And John's trying to shake off the slipstream, but it's not going to work for him. I think he knows he's going to get taken here. All default needed was that a good clean exit, and he's got it. DRS is on, overtake button's engaged. He's going to use that slipstream, but he is taking the outside line. Is he going to be far enough ahead? He is. Nicely done there by default. So he's secured P2 so far.
And he's
Jordan's taken Vanier. Sorry to interrupt you again, but Jordan has just snatched that position away from Vanier. Jordan's just...
make a mistake?
I don't think he did. I think just Jordan's just making such huge time. Although actually saying that, Vanier was 5 seconds behind default before default made that pass. So Vanier must have had a wobble or something.
Vanier's been putting in fastest lap after fastest lap. So in order for him to drop back that far, he must have made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah.
Default is now down below 5 seconds.
He is.
And gaining.
So maybe you were right. Maybe he did have the strategy of kings. It's quite an unorthodox strategy, but it does seem like he's got the strategy of kings. He is. Oh, defaults. What's happened?
He's lagging on my screen.
I don't know if it's lag.
Lag.
I don't know if he's...
Hodgson's gone.
He has. Where is that? What happened to default? He looked set to be able to take the, to catch up to Beaker and take him.
Looked like some serious lag going into those long hair chicanes.
But that'd have had to have been some phenomenal lag because he was really far ahead. He was really far ahead of Jordan, and now he's lost positions to both Jordan and Vanier, and he's now 3 seconds behind. Was there an off? There must have been an off, surely.
Must have been the lag that just lagged him off the track. I mean, he's all over the place when I'm watching him.
But Vegas and Flaff are having their little battle, and Vegas has taken the position on him. But Flaff is not giving up yet. Remember, this is valuable points for both constructors and for the drivers, because both of these drivers here are the only ones left in this race for their constructor. So it's going to be important that they get these valuable points. Oh, Flaff loses that back end a bit. That means Vegas is going to get a good drive away. But Flaff does have DRS.
Vanier is within 0.7 of a second as we're coming up to the last corner now. Less than half a second. Massive gain on that straight.
He's got DRS. Jod's gone defensive. Does not want to let him have that inside line. Although he's going that fast, it makes no difference.
He's going for the cutback, but he's too far ahead. Oh.
It's close. It's very close. He's going for the inside line. He's got it. He's done him.
Oh, he's left him miles of space. He's forced him off as well for good measure.
What happened to Vanier? He had it all there. He'd done everything he needed to do, and he just, I don't know if it was pressure or what, but he made a mistake. He left the gap wide open for Jordan. Jod says, thank you very much. I'll take the podium position. Not a problem.
Has Vanier just taken too much out of his tyres, just battling for this position?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I did think it was going to be around about lap 5 on these tyres. I think the performance would wear off and it would actually fall into the sort of soft territory in speed and performance. But if he doesn't make something happen soon, again on Jord, then he's actually going to struggle towards the last few laps. Because I mean, we've only got 5 laps left, this one including.
Still there, but he's just
He's way back
gaining
there.
as he used to. See a Ferrari up ahead.
Well, look at the pace he's got. He's took the inside, he's gone in the safety car line.
Come from?
He's hit him, there's collision.
Contact, massive contact, but no damage.
Jod's gone really well, he's gone.
Yep,
Jod's spun.
Off.
Defaults, he's through.
Vegas is too far back to capitalise.
But Vanier will have some very crucial breathing room. He's got P3 currently. Can I just point out, by the way, that the Ferrari drivers had the strategy of a lifetime here. I don't know what happened in default that cost him it. It was his strategy and it was his race for the take. But all the Ferrari drivers needed to do was maintain composure. And they're right up there currently in P1, P2. They're going to take the finish of dreams for Ferrari. Sector 2, yellow flag. Who's that? I think it was... was it Gooby? No, it wasn't Gooby.
It's someone at the hairpin, because I just saw it coming on Vegas' screen. What's going on with Jord? He's not doing full revs on the straight. Is he lifting coasting to save fuel? Is he that short?
He must be way off. His fuel gauge has been yellow for a long time.
He's lifting and coasting through these corners.
He's definitely in control of his car, 100%. It's not AI control. It'd be useful if we could see.
He's just coasting through the corners. No, not.
Has he lost wing? He's going in the pits. He's headed for the pits. He's limping.
Must have been.
He's gone on the supers.
A word from Jord here.
Classic Vanier. I don't think there was much wrong with what Vanier did, gonna be honest. I mean, he did go on, he did try and take that inside line. I mean, we do need to have some sort of...
Vegas on the rear of Vanier though. Well, let's see classic Vanier.
Do you mean default? You mean default's on the back of Vanier?
Well, what did I say?
Oh, he said Vegas.
Oh.
He is, look, he's come back. I don't know what's happened, but default's woken up. He's hungry for the podium. He's got the DRS. He's going for the inside. There's a tiny touch of contact between them, but it wasn't anything substantial. And default has taken P3. Oh, he's going again. Default just disconnected. He's still in there. He's like he just teleports out for a second and then comes back. So he's definitely got network issues. Luckily, it didn't affect the race.
On that screen.
Yeah, I see it. DRS is available. Is he going to have the pace? I don't think he is.
George's going very slow. Is he still typing in chat, is he?
He's not. Oh, that was close. Vanier took the... Never mind. Default has just jumped back in front. Final lap, by the way, ladies and gents. John is only just ahead of default, so this could actually go really wrong for the Ferrari driver. Beaker's way out in front, though, so I think he should be safe. He just needs to cruise it all the way home, and he should be fine. Whereas the battle for P2 is beginning. And if this goes wrong, Vegas could capitalise and actually potentially take a podium position. It all depends on how cleanly these drivers in P3 and P4 make it happen. It doesn't appear to be... I think they're just settled in now. I think they've had enough. I think they're happy with their positions. Although it's still not over because default, he can see... Oh, John is being cheeky and stealing that slipstream from Jordan. He might get it. No, he's not got it. He's got the DRS, but Beaker has come home and taken the Bahrain Grand Prix, and John has finished in P2. Default takes P3. Vanier takes P4. Vegas is coming home to take P5. And then Flaff behind. Gooby, who had a fair bit of issues. He's crossing the line, but Jordan is driving right behind Vanier for whatever reason. Oh, he has finished, yeah.
I was just trying to work out what he was doing.
I think he'd had enough. I think he just lost his temper.
Then you retire, don't you?
Yeah, but he's done it. So, congratulations to the Ferrari drivers. They take home the 1 and 2 victory. Some phenomenal racing there overall. Some controversial moments, some of them that we need to recap on, but Ferrari also take home the Constructors' win here.
Just a small Constructors' win.
Beaker looks very happy up on there on that podium. Champagne spray out. Well deserved by the Ferrari drivers. They did such a very clean, strong, consistent strategy, and they had to execute it perfectly if they wanted to take the 1-2, but they've done it.